Hey guys, welcome back to Mystery Farm. So I wanted to do a reading for no contact, a no contact twin flame separation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards for, kind of just to so that you can get a sense of whether or not this reading applies to you. What events took place from the perspective of the masculine, and what events took place from the perspective of the feminine, because sometimes we can see what happened in different ways, and then we're going to look at how the thoughts and feelings of both the masculine and the feminine. Now again, as always, for when I'm talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, genders can apply in any way with that. It can be same-sex couples. It can be, the genders are reversed. Okay. So let's get some messages about the events as perceived by the masculine. 8 of Wands. Knight of Swords. Oops. Three of Wands, 10 of Wands. And let's look at the events as perceived by the feminine. The Empress, High Priestess, Two of Swords, Ace of Cups. Okay, and let's get the thoughts. And actually, first, I want to clarify. I want clarifiers on the events. Queen of Pentacles. King of Cups. Seven of Wands. And the Queen of Cups. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. The Empress is out. Justice. Four of Wands. Three of Wands, which we had out over here. And it's just in exactly the reverse position of it too. And the Hanged Man. Okay. So I will go ahead and get the thoughts and feelings of the masculine. Ooh. Okay. Page of Swords. I'm making sure I'm turning that up right. Six of Swords in reverse. The Hermit. And the 10 of Cups. Okay. The Devil. Ten of Pentacles. Wow, and the Ten of Cups is over here on the masculine side. The Empress again on the Divine Feminine side. Page of Cups. Okay. Right. So on the masculine side, in terms of seeing what happened here, the Eight of Wands is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. There was some fast action, communication made, perhaps towards a Queen of Pentacles. Over here for the Empress, clarified by Justice. This communication had to do with an Empress, with the Divine Feminine. Something unjust had occurred towards this Divine Feminine in this situation. That could have been directly from the Divine Masculine, some way in which he was unjust to her, or it could have just been a series of events that, for the Divine Feminine. It could have involved a Queen of Pentacles, or you could be the Queen of Pentacles in this scenario. And what it shows is that the masculine was essentially just kind of watching. They watched as this injustice unfolded. And that really upset the Divine Feminine. Because, the Page of Swords isn't about taking action. It's a lot of times it's spying. It's sitting there just watching everything. So the Divine Masculine watched something happen to the Empress and didn't do anything, and it really pissed her off. So the Knight of Swords, clarified by the King of Cups, the Knight of Swords is a hasty energy. It's rushing into a situation. And the King of Cups is a more emotional king. And he's in rough water. So basically, it looks as if there was an emotional outburst that happened quickly after whatever this betrayal or injustice was to the Divine Feminine. So I'm seeing that then he shows up, maybe has this emotional outburst, and in the series of events from the perspective of the Divine Feminine, is it shows the High Priestess energy and clarified by the Four of Wands. And, this is specifically a twin flame card. And so to me, I feel that she's observing this outburst. She's sort of calmly and emotionally distant is observing that. She's using her intuition, and she's aware of some secrets surrounding this situation with his outburst as well. But that is who she's perceiving is her twin flame in this situation. Now, what it shows is, in terms of, because remember, these are thoughts and feelings, and this is Six of Swords in reverse. And so Six of Swords is normally moving, to calmer waters. What this shows is that he emotionally stayed in that disrupted energy. He got stuck there, is what it looks like, in this conflict and emotion and upheaval. The Three of Wands is about, typically it can be about making a choice, a decision, and kind of looking off and waiting for it. That's clarified by the Seven of Wands, which is, you know, in this card, it's fighting off multiple people from above. It's being in a lower position and feeling like you're fighting off everything. So he feels like the choice that he made in doing this, he feels like now he's in a position of having to defend the choice that he made. Whereas the Divine Feminine is in a Two of Swords energy, clarified by the Three of Wands, which again, I mean, look at that reflection there. The Three of Wands for the masculine and the Three of Wands for the feminine in the same position. So the feminine perceived this defensive stance that he made after this emotional outburst. She's at a crossroads at this point. And so she's making a decision now and waiting for her ships to come in. I think, you know, she's basically saying, like, I know that I have good stuff coming in for me. And it appears she's turning her back here by making that choice and cutting off with the Two of Swords. Snip, snip. So so it looks to me like while he's defending his position, she still, you know, calmly kind of says, no. No. So that puts the masculine in a Ten of Wands energy where he's just feeling completely overburdened. He doesn't know what else he can do in this situation. He was already in a defensive energy, but he just feels like everything's collapsing on him, and that's clarified by the Queen of Cups. So that this loss is what is burdening him at this moment. Whereas the feminine is then looking at the masculine at this same event of him feeling overburdened for losing her, and she's perceiving that with empathy. I think, honestly, that, you know, whatever this specific situation, however that played out for you, you know, that there was some sort of betrayal, but I'm not seeing a lot of anger despite, you know, some sort of betrayal or injustice to the Divine Feminine. I'm seeing that she's looking back at him with love, with that unconditional love. Which to me says that this is a fairly evolved Divine Feminine, because she's looking at that situation with unconditional love and compassion as opposed to resentment. I think she's just been enlightened. She's been enlightened to the masculine's love for her, but his inability to perceive these events in the same way that she does. She's been awakened to that. And that, you know, I think in some ways that makes her feel a little bit stuck, because and that's why she has that compassion, is because she understands now why he can't see or get there or be, you know, the partner in this that she needed. In terms of I guess I sort of stopped going with the feelings part of the way through this. Okay, so So basically, when he was in this position of defending his outburst, you know, he's gone really quiet in that. So he went into Herman energy at some point and went really quiet. Again, this is where the actual break is here. But so he was quiet even before that happened. And he really still, even in separation now, has a Ten of Cups energy towards the Queen of Cups, towards his Empress, towards the kind, nurturing, compassionate woman that he knows that you are. So in terms of your feelings over here for the Divine Feminine, like I said, when this betrayal happened, you were definitely pissed off, right? You were pissed off. When he had this emotional outburst over here and then locked himself into that energy, it shows the Divine Feminine being in a Ten of Pentacles energy, like that she really just went back to focusing on herself. It shows her sleeping here with her cats, and she's just, snuggled up and looking content. I think because she knows that building for herself is the right thing to do. That even though she's alone and she does have this dream or wish or vision or hope for her twin flame, that she's going to continue her life with or without, and build with or without. And so when we got to this part of the masculine defending himself, defending the choice and the outburst that he made over here, like I said, she knew that she had to make a decision to cut this off for now. And waiting for her ships to come in, she acknowledges that it may in time be this person, it may in time be her masculine that comes back, but regardless, she knows she has that bright future ahead. But so she's perceiving this. All of this is the feminine being in a very compassionate energy. I mean, she was the one that said no to this explanation and to this offer. She said no. And so, again, coming out with the Page of Cups, she would like a reconciliation with the masculine, but it just has to be the right. He has to go through and do the growth now. And he needs to sort of catch up to a certain degree. And in the meantime, the feminine is just going to be working and building on herself. If this really weird pain in my side, all of a sudden, and I don't normally get like random pains, that may be a message for someone, but it's just super weird. It's like right in my ribs. Okay. It's really sort of nagging at me too. I'm going to pull a few cards for, what's going to happen in the future. And again, time-wise, I don't really know. I do think that tarot only sort of looks, between like the immediate future and to maybe a couple months out. 2-3 months max. But, I don't know. Anyway, King of Pentacles. Page of Wands. Four of Wands. Wow, right next to the Four of Wands. I just heard building a bridge. And the Nine of Wands. Okay. Let's get some clarifiers. Wow. Temperance. Wow. Okay. I'm really glad I pulled these though, because I mean, you know, it looks a bit sad right here. You know now, of being in separation, being in no contact. You know, the feminine being open down the road to reconciliation under the right circumstances, and the masculine just really kind of watching the divine feminine now in silence and hurt. I mean, being in that Ten of Wands energy it's like the last straw, and who knows what all else is going on in his life right now. But but probably a lot of burdens, 9 burdens, and then it's put him into a really dark place. In terms of the future, we have the King of Pentacles here clarified by the Sun, the Page of Wands clarified by the Six of Cups, the Four of Wands clarified by the Tower, the Nine of Wands clarified by Temperance, and the Six of Wands again clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. And so in the future, it looks like we are going to see some movement forward again in this situation. But it's going to happen after, what I'm also seeing here is like the King of Cups here, and then the King of Pentacles. I think that this masculine is going to hopefully work on some healing and get to this King of Pentacles energy, where he's solid, he's stable. Maybe finances are something that this masculine has to work on. But he needs to mature into that more grounded energy. He's been in his emotions a lot, or maybe not enough. Because I just got there aren't a ton of cups on the masculine side. I think it's actually more like this masculine just doesn't know how to balance his emotions, that he either cuts them off completely or he's having like an emotional outburst. So he needs to get more consistent in terms of his emotional stability, as well as working on the physical aspects of his life, like his finances, his home. But the Sun energy is below it. So, I mean, I think that this says that this masculine is going to come into greater happiness for himself. He is going to start kind of going through and doing that healing, which is hard work, and it's not like, yay, but it does lead to greater happiness. The Page of Wands here is then about making an action, a small action towards someone. And it shows it's clarified by the Six of Cups. And so this is the soulmate or the twin flame or whatever. But I think it's twin flame, because in the next card, it is the Four of Wands. And so I think at some point he is going to come around. He's going to make a small action or offer towards this divine feminine, but it's going to be shocking. It's going to be shocking, I believe, to the feminine. And I think that there's also an awareness for this masculine that once he does this, once he actually makes an offer towards his twin flame, that it's also going to be, that it's going to fundamentally change his life. That it is going to be shocking for him as well, in terms of how much his life has changed and will have to change. So then it shows the Nine of Wands, which is about, a wounded warrior. It's somebody who has been through a lot. They're wounded, they're injured, but they're still standing up. They're still standing there, and they're kind of on the defense, waiting, and there's some patience. And I think the message here is that, you know, when this happens, when this coming together and offer does happen, that you both are going to have to be patient with each other, and respect that both of you are still coming through a wounded place with each other. There's going to be some healing that needs to be done in this relationship when they do come back together. But if you do demonstrate that patience with each other, that you're going to have victory, that this is fated. And I'm hearing it's a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so it could be soon, and it could also be very long from now, right? Again, you know, this may be a cycle that happens within the next 3 months. Since it is showing victory at the end of it, but it depends on both the feminine and the masculine doing the work. The feminine work that she needs to do is in the aspect of her 10 of Pentacles, basically building the solid, stable foundation for her. So she's going to have to be focused on more 3D aspects in the near future. And for the masculine, he has to focus on both. He has a lot of work to do. He has to focus on 3D, on getting his finances under control, but also he needs to work on some healing and get more connected with his heart space and his emotions so that he can become more balanced. He needs to acknowledge his feelings and emotions well before they become an outburst. That's why they become an outburst. Let's get some messages from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. You made me see a side of me that I've grown to hate. And that came out right over the King of Cups. And so that emotional outburst, I think he has an awareness of that. Oh, 4 came out. This is not the way I wanted things to end. I wish I could go back in time. Yeah, I mean, and the divine feminine, I think, is aware of that. I mean, she knows that, but it's not the way she wanted things to end either. I spent a lot of time thinking about you, wishing things were different. I made so many bad mistakes. I hope we can have a do-over. Yeah, and that depends on the work that both of you do. And some messages from the divine feminine to the masculine. I was dishonest with you and myself. I lived one big lie. I'm getting more the sense from that message that this divine feminine may have been in somewhat of a state of an illusion with this masculine. That because, you know, it was through this outburst that she had that awareness, that she became aware with the Hangman of like he's not quite at the level that I thought that he was, that he's not ready, you know, and I think before that she really did feel that he was. And so, you know, she is feeling like kicking herself because I think she does know that she's hurt the masculine now. And she feels at fault for that. Not responsible for his actions, but for essentially kind of because she believed, she kind of, you know, believed her own illusions about this masculine. She gave the masculine greater hope than really was fair to give him. I'm scared you will not accept me now. I think she's scared she's moving too fast. you know, or that she's worried that now that she's rejected him, that he's not going to forgive that. You deserve much more than I could give you at the time. I should have listened to my intuition. Yeah. And that's what I was saying with this first card as well, is that, like, yeah, she did ignore her intuition on this. She saw, I think, some signs prior to this, you know, of red flags, or, you know, signs that he wasn't ready. But, you know, she hoped. Okay. Let's get some guidance for the masculine. You know what's funny too? Just seeing how the light is casting over these cards at the moment, it struck me that I made so many bad mistakes. I hope we can have a do-over. And you made me see a side of me, or that I've grown to hate. That's what this exposed. That's what this series of events exposed. It's really highlighted. Out of the woods, you've made it through. What newness is emerging? So it's telling you, Divine Masculine, you've completed this cycle for the moment, you know, with the feminine. And so you've made it through this cycle, and it's asking you to reflect on, within this cycle with your Divine Feminine, what have you learned? What new skills do you have? Because that's going to encourage you if you kind of look back and, like, okay, I messed up here and I still have some work to do. You're seeing that you still have work to do. But think about, you know, 2 months ago, or 6 months ago, or a year ago, how you would have handled the same situation. It may have been way worse. It may have been 10 times worse, you know, or so think back onto previous situations and think and look at yourself and through the course of this connection, how you have grown and how you still want to grow. So, you know, what new skills do you have through the last cycle that you can now build forward onto to get to that next one? Okay, and for the feminine, when peace is your priority, negativity cannot exist. How can you see through the eyes of source energy and prioritize your inner peace? It's asking you, Divine Feminine, to really focus as you go through your building phase of working and building on yourself and reinvesting that self-love back into yourself, to really focus on staying unbothered, like not letting other people, energies, events, because, you know, as you go through that separation period, that's when you integrate the lessons that you've learned in the cycle, essentially what the masculine's card said over here. That's when you actually can go in and integrate and do more healing and more integrations from the things that you've learned. You're going to do that as well in terms of not allowing yourself to be triggered by things, not allowing people to interfere with your energy and external energies. I think, you know, we didn't look at karmics because, you know, I've done a karmic reading recently. So I want to keep this focus on the Divine Feminine and Masculine. The Divine Masculine, we have hope. It's telling you that you can have hope in this situation. You are going to go through a bit of a dark period here. But there is hope. In this light, you know, I think it also shows that he's looking at the Divine Feminine as sort of being his guiding light while you guys are in separation. And within, this card keeps coming out, and I swear, you know, these cards are exactly alike. So yeah, And that's what this card was saying, right? When peace is your priority, negativity cannot exist. Focus on, as you go into this 3D phase of building, make sure that you stay connected with your spirituality and your intuition during that time, because that's going to be important for you. All right, so this is your separation, no contact, twin flame reading. I hope that these messages are helpful for you guys. And again, please help me grow my channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps me a ton, and I appreciate the energy. And you're also more likely, that's an energetic exchange. And so, hello, Ganymede. You probably can't see my dog here, but they want to be fed. So, okay. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. Thank you.